Welcome to Spaceville. I'm Jade, as you know, and with me is Ash Grunwald. Ash, how are you?
Very good.
Very good. Welcome to North Queensland again.
Thank you very much.
We put some nice hot weather on for you today.
It's fantastic.
So, how many shows of this tour have you done so far?
800,084 and 6.
And 6. Yeah. And counting. So this is number 7? Yes?
No, this is number 800. No. Yeah, well, we've done a few shows. It's kind of like 2 months of touring solidly, and it's been fun, and I'm doing it solo. Even though I've got a band on my album,
yep.
I'm doing it solo, which has created a fantastic creative problem to solve. So I've tried to replicate a bit of the vibe of the album in the solo show.
Yep.
And I guess people just have to hear those results, but because like we had like Ian Perez who's playing he plays in Wolfmother, and one of the concepts for my album was to get a synth bass player instead of stringed bass, and so now when I'm playing solo, I've gone back to the drawing board in the effects kind of realm, and trying to make some synth sounds out of my guitar.
Well, you have done some dub smash type stuff before, haven't you?
Dubstep, little influences in there, here and there. Yeah,
I remember those.
They have been. Yeah, I mean, I've always been one to chuck bizarre stuff in there, and bass. Like long before dubstep and bass music that I was aware of. It was probably happening, but I mean, for many years I've been flooding rooms with bass, and when whiskey bottles fall off the off those little pouring things, and then the venue's really upset with you, and they're like, a whiskey bottle fell off the da-da-da-da-da.
That was good timing.
Yeah, that was perfect, wasn't it? They're like, a whiskey bottle fell off the da-da-da, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not like, oh, I'm so sorry, but, just thinking, that's great.
That happens.
So I've been into the bass for a while, but, yeah.
And I did notice on stage in there, you've got a nice little foot drum set up.
Yeah, that is a crazy, crazy contraption. It is so effing amazing. It was difficult to learn or relearn. With my feet, I've always done the kick drum on the left foot, or the stomp box, as the case may be, over the years, because that doesn't disrupt you're playing guitar, it's sitting there, so you go like that, and it's all good. But now I'm playing kick drum there, and then this one's the snare. That thing is a real epiphany for people playing solo, that you've got an actual proper acoustic drum kit that you're playing. And we've been recording every gig, and then I listen back to it sometimes, and I'm like, my God, that's so cool. It almost allows a new genre, which is more like of a one-man band, but it's more rocky, because you hear that of the cymbals.
Do you find it difficult to coordinate all that?
Extremely difficult. Yeah. But what I did was I sent away to those people who make the drum, and I said, look, I'm a muso, and I put all my boasting massive big points on there on the email, and I said, just hook me up, can you? Can you? I didn't want a free thing.
No.
But I just wanted, because it's a 6-month waiting list, and I'm like, okay,
I need it next week.
I need you to send me it, and I need you to just hook me up a little bit, because I need to practice hardcore, because I've got a tour to do. So I just locked myself away and just really worked on it, and it was an amazing thing for me, because we don't do that often. Like, I'm 39 now too. You do it when you're 16 or something, but I haven't in many years done a thing where there's something I can't do at all, and I've backed myself to go, right, this is what I'm doing on the tour.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to sit in a room until I can do it, and in a short space of time. So that's what I had to do with that drum. But it sounds phenomenal.
The new album now, It's been out for, what, a couple of weeks now? It's
Yep.
already charting, I noticed, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been going well.
So, who else did you have guest on that album when you recorded it?
I was just a three-piece. There's Pete Wilkins, who's a fantastic drummer from the Byron kind of region, who plays in a lot of... he was on the road with Blue King Brown for a long time, but now he's got a family and whatever, and he just does his pickup gigs with really good, like blues bands and jazz things and whatever, does his different things, but he's a very well-respected drummer in our area. He was the best guy for the job. And Ian Perez, who's playing in Wolfmother, and he's also playing with Jared James at the moment, who's doing good things overseas and in Australia. So it was really a high level of musicianship for the album. And then I had a really good producer. First time I've ever really got a big name kind of producer. This guy, Nick Dadia, he's done like all the Pearl Jam albums.
That is a big name.
Yeah, and Rage Against the Machine and Bruce Springsteen and this and that. So that was really cool. It's like very A-listed. The studio was perfect and everything was like ready to do the best album that I possibly could. And then
Fantastic.
I was trying hard. People can tell me whether they think it's good or not, but yeah.
And you also did a few shows with Scotty Owens, I noticed, from The Living End.
Yeah, Scotty's one of my best buddies in the
really?
world. Yeah.
With that big violin of his.
Yeah, the big double bass. Yeah, Scotty rips on that. But and also Andy from The Living End.
Yeah.
We just did a couple of festivals. We played on the Sunshine Coast and did a festival, and we're going to do New Year's again together.
Great.
And isn't the passage of time just radical? Because like, it feels like to me only yesterday that we just did an album together and we did that, and then that era passed, and then I went and did solo and this and that, and then I did this new band, and then blah, 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 blah. Now, when we get together on a festival stage, it sort of feels like, oh, the boys back together again.
Yeah.
After all these years. It's probably been about 2.
Yeah.
But they're just monsters of players. They're just so powerful. They can really lift you up and just go, there it is, audience, kind of thing.
Have you learnt anything from them performance-wise?
Heaps.
Yeah.
Also, I learnt a lot about professionalism, which is not a strong point of mine.
Yeah, okay.
But just, rehearsing, practicing, really working at it, and then building it. Because before that, I just wandered up onto stage. Seriously, for about 10 years, that's what I did. Just wandered up and just made up songs on stage, made up songs in the studio, and just treated it as not very serious, really. And I was always surprised. Next thing that you get in your career, it's like, oh, that's great. Wow, that's cool. But they come from that background of pulling 10,000 people to your own gig.
Yeah.
So you have a lot more responsibility to deliver the goods. So it's not good enough for them to just kind of kick ass. You've got to really kick ass.
Yeah.
Mega to a new level. So they're used to that. So that thing of rehearsing and working at things, and the work that you put in is what you get out, is what they, it's still they're partying and having a good time, but they work so hard. So that rubbed up. It did rub up against me for a while, and then it rubbed off on me when I conceded that it was the way to go.
Yeah.
And then when talking about the album now, I took a lot of that into that album, and I've never worked on an album in my life like I worked on that.
It is a lot more polished than the last ones have been.
It's a lot more polished, and even the songwriting, I've spent a lot longer on it. Like the other ones, I just sort of I care a lot about songwriting, but a lot of stuff was sort of made up in the studio as well. But that now was not like that. It was demoed rigorously and whatever. So that was my first time ever. I mean, people might listen to that and go, oh, that's cool, but it's not what I want from Grunwald.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. But, I had to do that once in my career to do the sort of, I guess, more along the lines of the Mega Pro kind of vibe, and just see how it is when you put everything you can put into something.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to the show tonight, and I see you've got a guitar there. You're going to play us a little hint of what we've expect tonight?
Certainly not. But I can play you something.
That would be wonderful.
Actually, no. Yeah, I can play you something that I probably would play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think of it, because this guitar here is this is a National Steel Stylo. It's not a stylo, it's a tricone, actually. Baritone guitar. And it's really good for... I'm not playing it as a baritone, but it's really good for playing... I don't know. I guess you just got to hear it. I have to play in a really weird way because this finger, 2 days ago, I was waiting for Kev to get out of his hotel room, and I jumped on his... We've been skating a bit after the gigs, a little bit of downhill, but he had this cut-down skateboard that's about this big, and so I was riding and I was thinking, this is so weird, my feet are totally together, and I'm just looking out at the mountains there, and I just put my hand down to grab onto the rail of the skateboard and pull on it and do a little turn, and I put my hand too low and ran over my own finger. This is the main finger that I pluck with, and I have half of, it cut through my fingernail, and it just looks like a mashed, gnarled bucket of bones in there. Anyway. Well, I went down to the crossroad. No, I fell down on my knees. You know, I went to the crossroad. You know, I fell down on my knees. Ask the Lord above, have mercy now. Say, Paul Bob, if you please. Oh, standing in the crossroads. No, I tried to flag a ride. Standing on the crossroads, you know, I tried to flag a ride. You know, nobody seemed to know me. Everybody just passed me by. Well, you can run, you can run. Tell my friend, boy, Willie Brown. Run, you can run. Tell my friend, boy, Willie Brown. I believe I'm sinking down.